take arrows from the front, from the Democrats. I have seen him take arrows from all sides in the media, and now from our own side, from the Drudge Report and even Fox News. I have seen him take arrows. I have seen him take arrows from all sides. And then Boehner and McConnell as they stab him in the back. And you know what's so amazing? He's like Gandalf. He just stands there on that bridge with that giant dragon thing coming at him, and he says, "You shall not pass." He's immovable. And the reason why is because he knows who he is, he knows who he serves, and that's God, and currently the people of Texas, and soon to be the people of the United States of America. When you're raised by a father who has actually walked up to a wall and just missed it, try this out for size. His father in Cuba, they were marching him to be executed. Now imagine that. He's 19 years old and he's marching to be executed. And on the way, with the soldiers behind him, he sees a friend who happens to be on the government side, and he's like, "Hey, Bill, how are you doing?" And that's when his friend said, "Wait a minute, what are you doing with him? No, come on over here." That's how close he was to losing his life. When he escapes and he comes to America, and then he finds Jesus, and he finds America and the dream of America, and he sets it right, I can tell you this. That man taught Ted Cruz since he was this big about freedom, about the opportunity, about the Constitution, and about how it all connects with God. He knows the combination. Ted and I were just driving in, and he's laughing, and on his iPhone he said, "Well, you made another Drudge headline." And I said, "Well, it's better than the headline of you pushing Carly off the stage." Oh, we all saw that. And it was because last night when I got home, I did something that I don't think is controversial. I asked for America to fast and pray and approach the Lord with humility and ask for his forgiveness and his protection. It is being mocked in the media as usual, but I'm telling you, I don't know who we are if this is not an American thing, to be able to beseech the Almighty Creator, the one who gave us these rights in the first place and through divine providence established this country. I don't know who we are. But I'm just going to make it easier for them to make fun of me. I just want to ask you if you can recognize this person. Tell me if this doesn't sound like somebody we might know. And in you, amen, brother. Come on up and get baptized. This know also that in those days the perilous time shall come, for men will be lovers of their own selves. They will be covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, fierce, despisers that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God, having the form of godliness but denying the power thereof. From those people ye shall turn away. Man alive, it couldn't be more clear. And yet so many people in America are missing it. We have lost common sense when we can't say, "You know what, dude, you still got the thingamajig?" downstairs, then you shouldn't go into the ladies' restroom. When we can't say that, we've lost our minds. That has nothing to do with hate. That has nothing to do with homosexuality, bisexuality, fluid sexuality, any of the sexualities that we now have. It has everything to do with common sense. I have daughters. I don't want guys in the bathroom with my daughters. We're smarter than this. We're smarter than this. And I'll tell you what, George Washington in 1789, he came in and he made a covenant in a building in a church that's called the Little Church That Stood. The reason why it's called the Little Church That Stood is because it's the church right across the street from the World Trade Center. It's the only building across from the Trade Center or anywhere within a block of the Trade Center that didn't lose all of its windows. In fact, this church didn't crack a single window. It was the church where they brought the firemen and they rested in that church. But it's in that church that after the inauguration of George Washington, Congress said and decreed that the Senate and the House shall follow the new president to that church. And for 4 hours they prayed. And George Washington made a covenant and said, "We will be your people, and you shall be our God." We have violated that. We have mocked him. We have chased him out. And you know what? He's like my dad. He's like me as a dad. There's times I'll tell my kids, they'll be upstairs fooling around. I'll like, it's bedtime. Come on, knock it off. Then I get a little louder. It's bedtime. Knock it off upstairs. Get your stuff done. Pretty soon I'm walking up the stairs and I'm like, I'm coming for you. That's the way he is. He's our dad. But he is asking each of us to take a stand. And you are taking that stand tomorrow. Tomorrow, there is a checklist. This is the most incredible election I have ever seen in my lifetime. It's usually settled by now. Usually it's settled by Texas. We're like, whatever. Everybody else decided before it got to us. This time, every single vote counts. It's like we're being held accountable. Do you want your freedom or not? Do you want the republic or not? The answer is yes, we do. Yes, we do. Your job tomorrow is to get every single person you can to the polls. This is going to be very tight. This is going to be something truly remarkable and exceptional. And it's coming to the heartland, which to me is so important because it's not the mind, it's not the people who are trapped in the think tanks and the people and what they want you to think in the media in New York and in Washington, D.C. It's the people who have connected here. All of this stuff is all common sense. You know the answer. You know the answer. The answer is more freedom for people and less government. That's the answer. The answer is more truth, fewer lies. Those are the answers, and you know it because your grandparents taught it to you. You have the opportunity. Tomorrow, I come to you tonight as just a regular guy. I am not the guy you watched on TV or listened to radio. I'm just a dad coming to you from the state of Texas, telling you this is a man you can trust. I am not going to put my name on somebody you can't trust. He's a good, decent, honorable man. You can trust him. Two, tomorrow you make the choice. History will record what Indiana did on this day 100 years from now. Did we renew the promise of our Constitution and the promise of America, or did we let it slip through our fingers? That choice is yours tomorrow, yours to make. You get out tomorrow and get everybody you know to the polls and pull the lever for Cruz and Carly. I want to tell you, the first time I've met Carly Fiorina several times. She was on my show, and I loved her every time. And every time she left, I loved her. And then we'd get mail, and people would go, I don't know about her. And I'd look at everybody on the show, and we'd all say, I loved her. What are we missing something? We'd have her on again. We love her. I don't know about her. And I told her this at one point. So the first time after she voted for Cruz over her own name, and then the campaign didn't know she was going to announce. She just said, by the way, I'm in for Ted. She didn't want anything, no exchange, nothing. She just wanted to do the right thing. So the first time I saw her was I think it was in South Carolina. We were on a North Carolina, one of those Carolinas, and we were at a speedway. And it was outside, and there was this big stage, and I was supposed to speak after her. And she came down the stairs as I was coming up. And she looked at me, and she, with real confidence and a little bit of sass, she looked at me and she threw her hair back and she said, I told you I was a conservative. It is a delight to know her. The first time that we were traveling on the road for TED together, I wanted her to be the vice president because I said, Carly, you know, if someone like you were vice president and you knew about the Thomas Jefferson administration and how he ran the Senate, and she smiled at me knowingly and she said, mm-hmm. And I said, so you know? And she said, mm-hmm. And what she knows is when Thomas Jefferson was vice president, he went in and he wrote all the Senate rules. So in other words, a true vice president, constitutionally, can walk in and look at somebody like Mitch McConnell and say, Mitch, you're in my seat. Ladies and gentlemen, the next vice president of the United States, Carly Fiorina.
Hello, Hoosiers!